The Honorable Lincoln Macaulay Alexander. On November 28, 2013, Ontario MPPs unanimously voted to proclaim a Lincoln Alexander Day across Ontario. Bill 125 proclaims every January 21st as Lincoln Alexander Day across the province. On December 3rd, 2014, the House of Commons passed the Bill S-213, an act respecting Lincoln Alexander Day. The enactment designates the 21st day of January in each and every year as Lincoln Alexander Day. On January 21st, 1922, Lincoln Alexander was born in a row house on Draper Street in Toronto, Ontario, to May Rose, who migrated from Jamaica, and Lincoln Alexander Sr., a porter on the Canadian Pacific Railway, who came to Canada from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He went to Earl Grey Public School and Riverdale Collegiate. As a teen, Lincoln moved to Harlan with his older half-brother Ridley and his mother after she was the victim of a violent altercation with his father. In New York, he went to DeWitt Clinton High School, but returned to Canada in 1939. He first distinguished himself in service to Canada in the Royal Canadian Air Force during the Second World War. After the war, Lincoln completed his studies at Hamilton Central Collegiate and then at McMaster University in 1946, where he studied economics and history. He graduated from Osgoode Law School in Toronto in 1953. He then practiced law in Hamilton with the firms Okulowski and Okulowski, Duncan and Alexander, and Miller, Alexander, Tequila, and Isaacs. In 1968, Lincoln ran in the Canadian federal election as the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada candidate in Hamilton West electoral district. He won, becoming Canada's first Black Member of Parliament. He held the seat for 4 successive elections until stepping down in 1980. While in office, he spoke to the press about then Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau's alleged profanity in the Fuddle-Duddle incident, and was an observer to the United Nations in 1976 and 1978. In the brief government headed by Joe Clark from 1979 to 1980, Alexander served as Minister of Labour. He resigned his seat in 1980 to serve as Chairman of the Ontario Workers' Compensation Board. In 1985, on the advice of Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, Governor General Jean Sauvé appointed him as Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. He became the first Black person to serve in a viceregal position in Canada. To explain, James Douglas, who was of mixed descent, was Governor of Vancouver Island and of British Columbia prior to Canadian Confederation, when these were British colonies with no connection to Canada. During his appointment, he focused attention on education, racism, and youth issues. In 1992, the Honorable Lincoln Alexander was appointed to the Order of Ontario. He also became a companion of the Order of Canada. From 1991 to 2007, he served as Chancellor of the University of Guelph. His term exceeded that of any of his predecessors, and he assumed the office of Chancellor Emeritus. In 2000, Alexander was named chair of the Canadian Race Relations Foundation, where he remained an active spokesman on race relations and veterans issues. Until the time of his death, he was the honorary patron of the Hamilton, Ontario branch of St. John Ambulance, as well as the honorary chief of the Hamilton Police Service. In November 2006, his autobiography titled, "Go to School, You're a Little Black Boy," The Honorable Lincoln N. Alexander, a Memoir, was published. He is survived by his second wife, Marnie, and his son, Keith Alexander, from his first marriage with Yvonne Harrison, who predeceased him in 1999. Alexander died in his sleep on the morning